Okay. Good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining us on the special occasion of Shelley Davis, Vice President of the Connecticut State AFL-CIO, receiving the World Peace Prize, Roving Ambassador for Peace. And we are very honored to have Reverend Dr. Bailey here today. Thank you, Pastor, for coming. I am Barbara FLAHERTY, the Executive Vice President of the Irish National Caucus and the Judge and Corporate Manager of the World Peace Prize. As we will see in the upcoming video clip, the late beloved President Richard Trumka was very enthusiastic about the World Peace Prize. In 2016, he received the Roving Ambassador for Peace Award, and in June 2018, he received the World Peace Prize for Labor Leadership. And although his death prevented it, he was scheduled to receive the third tier in 2022, which is the Solidarity Award. Therefore, there is no better way to begin than to hear what the great man himself had to say on receiving the World Peace Prize for Labor Leadership. David, would you please start the video?
Oh, good.
Barbara FLAHERTY and Father McManus and all those that were involved in bestowing this great prize.
Sorry, hold on one second. Apologies, computer's having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Sorry about that, y'all. Share.
Is it playing?
There we
Oh, okay.
First, let me thank Barbara FLAHERTY and Father McManus and all those that were involved in bestowing this great prize. And let me say that I'm very, very deeply honored to receive this award on behalf of the working people of this great country. You know, I'm also want to thank the World Peace Prize Awarding Council for recognizing the nexus and the connection between organized labor and peace. Too many times in the past, we're not looked at as being part of the peace process. And the recognition of fighting for social justice and its connection to peace is very much appreciated by all of those that have gone before me and whose shoulders that all of us stand on. So we want to thank the World Peace Prize Awarding Council for recognizing that connection. Sometimes, Father, we even have to fight with ourselves because sometimes we forget our own lessons and have to go back and relearn those lessons and fight just a little more and a little harder and with a little more intensity. But as we stand here today, I'd say, let's never stop fighting darkness with light. Let's never stop fighting scarcity with abundance. And let's never stop fighting hate with love. And let's never stop searching and reaching for a lasting peace, for a social justice, for an economic opportunity for every last soul out there, so that every kid that gets born anywhere in the world can go where their brains and ambition can take them, rather than where their daddy or mommy's pocketbook can send them. I want to say thank you for this great honor, but like every honor, No one does any of these things alone. The fights that I started in some instances are still going on. The civil rights fight that I was involved in the 60s still continues to this very day. The fight for health care for everybody continues to this day. The fight for fairness on the job continues to this very day. The fight to end poverty and bring fairness in a country that is so blessed with so much continues to this very day. And here's the only thing I can promise you. I'll continue working with all those that have given me the light and given me the courage and giving me the guidance to go forward in the fight. And hopefully I'll be able to provide some of that guidance and light to those behind me. But I can promise you this. So long as I draw a warm breath, I won't stop fighting. So.
Thank you very much, David. And now we're going to show a short PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint will demonstrate the long relationship the Irish National Caucus has had with the American labor movement, and it will show some World Peace Prize and its laureates. Here in the first slide, you see Father Sean in front of the Capitol, and we are here now on Capitol Hill. Can we see the second slide, please, David? The second slide, please. Okay, the second slide on the left has our founder, Dr. Han-Min Soo, a Presbyterian minister from Seoul, South Korea, and Dr. Han's vision was one of world peace and harmony. The right side just shows Father McManus and myself when we were in Korea 2013 receiving our award. May we have slide 3, please? Okay, slide 3, we see President Trump February 3rd, 2016, and this is something additional he said. I know that Father McManus has moved the needle on solidarity, justice, and peace in Northern Ireland. And Father, for that I offer you on behalf of the entire AFL-CIO a sincere thank you. We can move on to the fourth slide. And the fourth slide on the right-hand side, you see then Secretary Treasurer Liz Schuler talking to Father McManus, and this was at the first award assembly for President Richard Trumka. We have slide 5, please. And this is the first presentation. You see President Trumka on the left, and on the right, you can see the lovely Mrs. Barbara Trumka with President Trumka. And again, this was in 2016 at the first presentation. May we have the second, slide 6, please. Slide 6, this shows the second tier Labor Leadership Award President Trumka received. And in the picture below, you see Father Sean and Richard Trumka, and the picture between them is a picture of Richard's son on his football team. We can go on to slide 7, please. Okay, slide 7, the third prize, World Peace Prize for Solidarity. Now, this will be presented posthumously to the Trumka family, and henceforth will be known as the Richard L. Trumka Peace Prize for Solidarity. This is what the Trumka family has said. Believe deeply in bringing diverse groups together to address their common struggles. He knew the power that came from solidarity, and he worked tirelessly to maintain it. We are honored that Rich's name will live on, always linked with solidarity and peace, because the World Peace Prize for Solidarity will be renamed in his honor, the Richard L. Trumka World Peace Prize for Solidarity. And on hearing this, now President Elizabeth Schuler said, no one more deserving of this honor, and she was welcoming this award. And next to her, the picture of International President Cecil Roberts, who was a lifetime friend of President Trump, said, "I wish that he were with us to accept this award." May we have slide 8, please? Here we see Executive Vice President Teferi Gebre when he received his award in 2017. And he said, "I want to thank the World Peace Prize Council, Father McManus, and Barbara FLAHERTY for all you do and for thinking of me for this honor. Thank you, Dr. Hanman Sue, for your vision and your kind words." Slide 9, please. Okay, here we have President Trumpka and Father Sean, and this was a prepping session for the Labor Award. And we're in Rich's office, and behind him to the left, you can see Rich in between his parents. He was a very devoted family man, as well as being a great labor leader. Can we have slide 10, please? Slide 10, Liz Schuler, when she was Secretary Treasurer, asked to speak at the presentation ceremony of Elizabeth Powell and Esther Lopez. And this is what she said. "Thank you, Barbara FLAHERTY, for the kind introduction. I also want to thank Father Sean McManus for his leadership and vision, as well as Dr. Hanman Sue and the entire World Peace Prize Awarding Council for everything they do to build a better world. There is a crystal clear connection between the labor movement and peace and justice in our world. It is a central part of our mission, our history, and the work we're proud to be leading today. Peace and justice come through unity and solidarity. It doesn't just land in your lap. You have to fight for it. We are striving for peace and justice for all working people, and all working women are leading the way." And this was February 5th, 2019. May I have slide 11, please? And slide 11 shows John Sweeney, former president of the AFL-CIO, on February 14, 2016, when he received the World Peace Prize of Roving Ambassador for Peace. Slide 12, please. Here we have Mark Dimenstein, president of the American Postal Workers Union, Elizabeth Powell, secretary treasurer of the Postal Workers Union, at AFL headquarters, February 14, 2016, when Elizabeth received her award. May we have slide 13, please? Here we have Father Sean and Mo Miller, president of the American Postal Workers Union from 1980 until his retirement in 2001. Slide 14, please. Okay, there's on the left Teddy Gleason, president of the International Longshoremen's Association, Father McManus and George Meany, president of the AFL-CIO, and this was in Bal Harbor, Florida in 1974. Slide 15, please. Okay, left to right, we have Patrick J. Campbell, president of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, Teddy Gleason, president of the International Longshoremen Association, 1963 to 1987, who was Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York in 1984. And then we have Tom Donahue, who was Secretary Treasurer of the AFL-CIO from 1979 to 1995, and then president of the AFL-CIO in 1995. And our last slide, slide 16. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say a few words about Father Sean McManus. Father McManus came to America in 1972, and he has incessantly worked for justice and peace in Northern Ireland. On February 6, 1974, he founded the Irish National Caucus. In the words of former New York Congressman Ben Gilman, chairman of the House International Relations Committee, "No one has done more than Father McManus to keep the U.S. Congress on track regarding justice and peace in Northern Ireland." And on November 5th, 1984, Father McManus launched one of the caucus's signature initiatives, the McBride Principles, which is a corporate code of conduct for American companies doing business in Northern Ireland. And it is only appropriate to mention to this audience that the AFL-CIO was the first major group to endorse the McBride Principles. This is something in which Father McManus is very proud. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Father McManus. Over to you, Father Sean.
Thank you, Barbara. God bless the Connecticut AFL-CIO, and God bless Miss Shelley Davis, Executive Vice President, our brand new roving ambassador for peace. We are honored indeed to honor her. Let me tell you a little bit about the World Peace Prize. It was founded, as mentioned, by Dr. Han in 1989 in Seoul, South Korea. His vision was to form an international interfaith World Peace Prize awarding council representing all the 9 major religious groups in the world, East and West, and that this group of judges would select candidates to receive the World Peace Prize of Roving Ambassador for Peace. Dr. Han had come to know about me because of my 40 years of work in getting the US Congress to stand up for justice and peace in Northern Ireland. And he also wanted to have a stronger presence in Washington, DC. So he pleaded with us to become involved in the World Peace Prize. So Barbara Flaherty and I were inducted into the World Peace Prize in 2013 in Seoul, South Korea. And we set out to establish 2 objectives. And while there, I ended up being selected as chief judge. And our 2 objectives were this. Number 1, to assert the fundamental truth and basic principle that peace is the fruit of justice, that working for peace means working for social justice. There is no other way to work for peace than working for social justice. And our second objective was this, to firmly place the American labor movement in the category of those who work for peace. I think we're the only World Peace Prize that has done that. So how did we make our case for those 2 objectives to the World Peace Prize awarding council, which after all is a religious organization? Let me give you a few quotes that made our case. I won't give you the chapter and verse, but if any of you have any question, you can later ask the Reverend Bailey, who, like any good Baptist preacher, will be able to tell you the exact chapter and verse of any sentence in the entire Bible. So, the first quote is from an American Protestant biblical scholar, very eminent, wonderful guy, Walter Brueggemann, the Reverend Walter Brueggemann. He says this with stunning clarity. In biblical faith, the doing of justice is the primary expectation of God. Let me repeat that. In biblical faith, the doing of justice is the primary expectation of God. And of course, we all know that Blessed Martin Luther King Jr. loved to quote the prophet Amos. And one of his favorite quotes from Amos was, Let justice roll down like water and righteousness like a never-flowing stream. And an Islamic scholar says this about his faith. Standing firm for justice is considered closest to godliness. In other words, my religious and social responsibility is to work for just causes. In my Islamic faith, I am required to stand witness to justice, fairness, and equality. Not just in words, but in praxis. And now a quote from the Catholic bishops of the world, assembled in Rome back in 71, and they established a wonderful document called Justice in the World. Please listen to this one. Action on behalf of justice is a constitutive dimension of the preaching of the gospel and a constitutive dimension of the church's mission for the redemption of the human race and for its liberation from every oppressive situation. And of course, Jesus Christ himself makes the intrinsic linkage between true faith and social justice even more dramatically and emphatically by stating, insofar as you did it to the least of my brethren, you did it to me. The love of God and the love of people are the same commandment and cannot ever be separated. People of faith, therefore, believe we are on this earth to worship God and to do his will and build up God's kingdom on earth in justice, solidarity, and respect for every son and daughter of God. And this is important, and not only that, but people of no faith and no religion, but of goodwill, can agree with the essence and objectives of these four quotes. This is very important because it shows how justice can unite all people, people of faith and people of no faith. All people of goodwill, all fair-minded people recognize that without justice, civilized society cannot stand, fair treatment cannot stand, fair employment cannot stand, and a just and living wage cannot stand. And by the way, and that is why the World Peace Prize can be presented to people of no faith who are committed to working for justice. And then how did we make the case with the World Peace Prize awarding council that you guys, the labor movement, American labor, should be included in the category of those who work for peace? Remember, that was our second objective. Well, if you look at America and ask the question, what group since the 1800s has consistently worked for justice for the working men and women of America? What group comes to mind? What group has stood for equality, for solidarity, for, quote, a just pay for a just day's work? Labor leaders who spend their life working in solidarity for justice for working men and women are indeed working for peace, not only nationally, but globally. Hence, the labor leaders are eminently qualified to be candidates for the World Peace Prize. We see American organized labor as organized love of neighbor. It's that direct. And a memorable quote from Pope John Paul II, from one of his great encyclicals on labor and related stuff, helped us to clinch the deal, because he said, remarkably, strongly, he declared, peace is the fruit of solidarity. Imagine that. The Pope latches on to your slogan, your motto, and raises it in effect to a virtue. So when we got back from South Korea, we went to see our dear friend, the late President Trumka, and told him we wanted to place members of the labor movement in the category of those who should be considered for the World Peace Prize. He jumped at the idea. He loved it and clearly got enthusiastic and excited. His first question was, how can I help? I want to be involved. Tell me what I can do to help. And he offered to write to labor leaders, introducing me and urging them to take my call. And for good measure, he said with great enthusiasm, and I'll put the letter on my AFL-CIO stationery, letting everyone know this has the backing of the AFL-CIO. And then the great man agreed to become the first labor leader to receive the World Peace Prize, and he insisted on having the presentation ceremony in his own AFL-CIO headquarters, so as to formally and officially launch the World Peace Prize within organized labor. So, my friends, our World Peace Prize places social justice front and center. Our Peace Prize encourages members of the labor movement to positively think of themselves not just as fighters for justice, but as peace builders as well. We believe this gives an important dimension to labor's self-understanding, self-image, self-identity, and self-esteem. I urge you all to claim this identity, embrace it, and promote it among organized labor. It's a wonderful way to advance labor and promote solidarity. And it could not have happened without the leadership, vision, and support of President Trumka. It is an important part of his legacy to working men and women of America and the world. So this, I hope, explains the background and the meaning of the World Peace Prize. And it also explains why Executive Vice President Davis is today the recipient of the World Peace Prize of Roving Ambassador for Peace. Congratulations, Shelley. You are an ideal laureate of the World Peace Prize. Thank you all. God bless you. Now back to Barbara.
Thank you, Father Sean. Unmute. Okay, thank you, Father Sean. And now Reverend Bailey will pass on for us the World Peace Prize plaque to Miss Davis. David, Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Trying
Thank
to
you
set
very
this up from my laptop.
much. Okay.
You want to put this actually on there so they can see it? Might work.
I will read out what the plaque says. Shelly Davis, Executive Vice President, Connecticut AFL-CIO 2022, for a lifetime of dedication to justice, for realizing that without justice, there is no love, for knowing that world peace is the fruit of solidarity, and for having the solidarity to live by these principles. Now, Reverend Bailey, please put the medal over her head and shoulders. Thank you, Pastor. Congratulations, Ambassador Davis. And now Ambassador Davis will give her acceptance address.
First, I give thanks to God who guides my footsteps. I want to thank Father McGinnis and Barbara. Thank you so much for this distinguished honor. I thank the Irish National Caucus for understanding labor fights for peace, justice, and economy opportunities to working people. I want to thank the late and great President Richard Trump's vision and passion to help formally launch the World Peace Prize within the labor movement on February 2016. He was pleased that we connected the labor fight to social justice with the building of peace nationally and globally. I am humbled and blessed to carry that baton forward. I am so grateful to my mother and my father, who taught me to always look both ways, to use my voice, and to do the right thing even when no one was looking. I am inspired and encouraged to continue this journey. Some days are more challenging than others, but something happens when you stand in the trenches and experience the ultimate reward of letting others see that someone cares. The growth and progress continues with hope. I know that it is important to let people know that their work matters. I am grateful that someone believed in me, that someone knew I was capable to be more, that I was capable to do more. For every struggle and setback, strength comes from knowing our history, knowing that someone fought for us, and it's important to fight for others. And I will always be an advocate and defender for what is right. I will continue to fight for justice. I will continue to fight for equality, diversity, and inclusion. I will continue to fight for fair treatment. I will continue to find the you and I in unity. Without peace, there is no justice. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. It means much more when you know that your efforts are appreciated. But I did not want an award. I do these things because I can. I do it because God allows me to. I just pray that I can continue to be an impact. It is good to show that the blessing is truly of being of service to others. So I thank you all for coming. I am truly honored, humbled, and blessed. I accept this award in honor of all the people that came before me so that I will have the opportunity to do the same. And as it is said, in solidarity, peace is the fruit of solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Davis, for that moving acceptance address. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today. And I want to give a special thank you to Pastor Bailey for assisting us and David for being our technical help. And I want to thank God for his blessing on this ceremony, and may God bless all of you. Goodbye. And now our presentation ceremony is over. Thank you all again. Goodbye, everybody.
I'm going to call up our mayor of the city of Hartford,